In this movie, we're going to show how we can take a picture and turn it into a 3D relief and kind of a 3D carving of that particular picture. And for this example, we're just going to use one of the examples that comes with Windows XP or Windows Vista or Windows 7. It's one of the demo files that's in there, and just a picture of a koala here. So to take something like this and then to turn it into a 3D, we actually need to create some 2D geometry. And I'm going to do that here by just drawing some profiles here on screen. And in my layers, I have two layers, layer 1 and imported. Layer 1 is on top of imported, so when I draw a contour, it's going to be on top of the existing layer, which under the second layer, which is going to be the picture layer. So that's going to help me out there a little bit. Now I'm just going to come here to the draw tool and hold down and come to draw Bezier, and I'm going to start across the top here and just kind of along the top. I'll go around the sides. Now when I hold down my cursor, I get a little handle there, and you can see how it creates a little curve behind the cursor position. So now I'm going to go up here and finish that part. Now I'm going to come here as well for the ear. Just hold that out there a little bit. And of course, you can always spend as much time as you want on something like this. Not sure where my start position was there for the ear. Go somewhere right around here where I can just come back and close that up. There it was up there. Now I'll do my other ear, and I'll start near the top here so I can remember where that was. And I'm just tracing around here. And right on my other point. Now there was one section here I did not connect, so I'm just going to move this point right up here. Right click and say merge selection, and I'll allow that to close a little bit more space there. Now I've turned that into a closed piece as well. So I've got, if I turn off all my layers, I can see I've kind of drawn some shapes here. And I might come in here and just straighten this out a little bit in my 2D point edit mode and just smooth that out. Smooth that out a little bit. Okay. So now I've got some parts here. Now I'm going to come here and soften these edges up maybe a little bit. These are curved, so I can come here and click on my handle. And if I hold down my shift key, it will turn this into a smooth curve. I have to have a curve on both sides here. So we'll come here and hit this. Now we hold the shift key, and you'll see how it will make a curve, turn into a smoother curve there. All right, so there's our outline of our koala bear. And maybe we'll make some of these just a little bit closer here. With that shift key and smooth that out. Okay, so we've got this set pretty well, and of course you can always spend as much time as you want to try and make something here as smooth as possible. I'm just going to kind of do some finishing touches here, and we'll just go with this as it is now. So now what I'm going to do is draw a rectangle here that's going to become my relief, and just use my rectangle tool to draw a little rectangle. And I have some shapes here that are going to be areas that are going to help me kind of define my relief just in this specific area. And then, during this, it becomes a little bit of a design process to how much of this hair do you want to try and include in there, and how much time do you want to spend on it. But as it exists now, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take these three components and I'm going to add them to this outer shape here. So let's come here and make a relief. And this is a fairly big part, so I'm going to leave this at 50 resolution flat and hit apply. Now I'll take my relief and my three objects here, and I'm going to hit add to relief, rounded. I'll come and soften that a little bit and maybe put a small base on there, 0.025, a small vertical base. We'll do a merge highest here. And you can see that that we created this three areas that join together here, and this is where our relief is, and it added those three spots there. Now I can come here and let's go back to our other part here. I'm going to turn off my render view, and we have a couple other shapes we need to draw here. I'm going to come here and go, we can go with the little circle tool here. Draw a circle right on the eye. And we'll draw a circle more or less on the eye there. And just move that over a little bit. And also here, we'll come here and just kind of shape that up just a little bit. Now we also need to draw something around the nose here. And just so I don't have to keep seeing this relief, I'm going to cut this, create a new layer, and paste this into layer 3. All right, now we're just going to see layer 1 and layer 2, so we won't see that relief there anymore. We can draw this a little better. I also want to do some drawing here around the nose. So I'm going to come back here to the Bezier tool. And we're just going to draw a little shape around the nose here. Looks like there was just a little spot right here that kind of got to be a bit much. Just one more little point right here. All right, and I kind of like how all the rest of this shows up here, so I will not worry about too much more of this. Let's just come up here. All right, so now we have our nose there as well, and we can draw two more little shapes here. Just going to draw one right there. And one right there. So we have two nostrils there as well. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our original relief. We're going to select this little part here. And we are going to do an add here. Make this not have any base, and a little bit of apply here, and that will add on a place for the nose. Now we can take these two little parts here and our relief, and this time we're going to do a subtract, so we can come in here right after we did this little addition here and subtract a little area there. And now we're going to come here and select our relief. And I actually want to come here and I want to take these three parts. I'm going to weld these together now. So this is going to be an area where I can choose just to do the surface inside of here. And I'm going to select here as well. So we've got these areas. I'm going to group these. This is where I'm going to apply my texture. And let's go ahead and apply a little bit here as well. Now I'll come here and turn on all my layers. I'll select the relief, the bitmap, and this area where it's going to mask where the texture applies. And I'll hit apply bitmap to relief, or I can come here to the surface menu and say apply bitmap. And let's do a little add here of 0.1 and hit apply. So that's going to transfer this grayscale texture, and we can notice here that we have a little bit longer hair in the ears than we do around the face area. So now we've taken this part and we've added this area. Now we might even want to come here and now that we notice this nose is the fur is raising up a little bit from there. But you know, if we like that look, we can keep it, or we could raise the nose up a little bit more. Here in this an area where you just have some more longer hairs. So if we wanted to, let's now go to our relief button here. We'll say surface. We want to render this view. And now we can see we've got some parts here. We can come here to the select the relief and go to the edit tool, and I'm going to come here and hit add. Let's hit a little angle here. Let's do a real sharp angle and fade it out as we draw it. 0.05, we're going to choose add here. And you can come and add some little hairs. Now let's just make this a little bit bigger just so we can see it. And as we draw on this, we can see that it's going to add some hair there. Now I might be a little bit more careful now that I see that it's kind of drawing the way I want it to. And if I want to keep going beyond the edge here, you know, this becomes a matter of how much time you want to sit here and recreate a particular look. But you can see that you have some tools here that would allow you to do that. Now we also have some flat spots here kind of, so let's come here and turn on all of our layers. Let's ungroup everything here and then just select these two and the relief, and we'll do a little bit of an add here. So now we've added a little bit of depth to the eyes, and we can select again these two parts. So we got these two eyes, and then let's select our bitmap again. And we're going to add a little bit of extra texture there just based upon the eyes, just so it doesn't look quite so undisturbed. And we could do the same here for the nose if we want. We can select the bitmap here and maybe add just a little bit of texture. 0.05, apply, just so it doesn't look quite so shiny or smooth. And if we want to do a little bit more there, we can do this again. We'll say subtract. Now let's say add here, 0.1. Now it's going to even back up around here. So here are some different ways you can go about creating a 3D sculpture. Based upon a picture, you can use the picture itself to produce some texture and draw some contours to determine where your image applies. And now if you want to take a look here. We can come into the surface menu, and if we want to take a look at this without all this background here, we can do extract slices, select relief for the slice, get our green check mark there, and now we will create an outline here of this part. And you also have some tools here for going in and we did something else before. Now we can go in here and do a blend, kind of soften the edge here a little bit if you want to. Soft the area through here, but the blend tool will just kind of smooth things out and blend them together a little bit. All right, so now let's hit F12 here, and this will bring up our perspective view. And here we've taken our 2D picture and turned it into a 3D part that we could cut out on a CNC router. And this is all based off of a bitmap using EnRoute software.